Welcome to Friday, April 3rd, 2020. Well, better days are ahead, folks. Although we are starting off with ridiculously cold temperatures here on this Friday, we do see moderating temperatures this weekend through the first half of next week. I know everybody is cooped up or feeling cooped up, but it'll be nice to have the weather better for sure this weekend into early next week. Temperatures will rebound this weekend, and through at least next Wednesday, it's going to be spring. We're going to have some nice mild days with these longer days, the sun climbing higher and staying out longer. It'll be a really nice stretch of weather. Now, we still have storm potential for late next week in that Thursday through Saturday range of next week. We have a large West Coast storm that will come through the high plains and Rockies. So we're going to have to deal with something late next week. But for the next 5 days, the weather looks better. Here are temperatures as of early this morning. Now, you may look at these and think it's April and think that these are temperatures in Celsius. The temperatures are to the upper left of each of these reporting stations, like 0 there, 2 degrees in Casper. The coldest we have found so far was 13 degrees below zero up in Yellowstone National Park. But these are January type temperatures that many areas of the region woke up to this morning. However, this Arctic air is going to retreat to the east, and we're going to see a warming trend. Now, this is the current jet stream pattern right now. The Gulf of Alaska Ridge continues to pump in that very cold air. This is the cold air that's coming in today. This is the spoke of cold air that came through overnight and early this morning, sending those temperatures to the single digits and below zero. However, going forward by Sunday, notice that the area of low pressure up here goes down and moves and goes more towards that Northern California coast area. So what happens is southerly to southwesterly wind flow comes into the high plains and Rockies. So it is going to be chilly today, somewhat warmer Saturday, but Sunday into Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, this area here warms up. Not only because the air will be coming from the Pacific coast and the desert states, but a westerly wind goes downhill, goes down slope on the other side of the Continental Divide. And when air goes over the Continental Divide and sinks, that also warms up the air. So this is why we're very bullish that Sunday through next Wednesday will be a lot warmer. This is the guy right here we'll have to contend with later. Now, this is for Sunday morning. By Wednesday morning, notice that low barely moves. It sinks south into central California, but what ends up happening here, we get into even more of a southerly wind flow. You see this area of high pressure here? So we're going to get really warm ahead of this storm system. Well, this is typical this time of year. You can have a really big warm up before the next storm comes in, and this is why. You get southerly to southwest wind flows. So we'll see some areas getting into the 70s by Tuesday and Wednesday of next week in this area here. So a real spring-like pattern. However, this is a pretty impressive system. California is going to pick up some much-needed rain out of this, but it's going to want to head this way. So this is Wednesday morning. By Friday, you can see we've got a strong low closed off in southeastern Colorado. Now, this is the European model. We're going out pretty far with the models. So again, I'll always have to put that disclaimer in there that by Monday, these models may change. But the pattern that we're seeing, we've seen before in the April timeframe, really April into May is when we see these big, closed, slow-moving lows like this. The European model has a pretty impressive storm in southeastern Colorado by next Friday. The American model does as well. This is the same time frame where we've got a deep low over southern Colorado, but notice this right here. This is a pocket of some really cold air and another surge of what could be some snow coming in behind it. Now, the European model doesn't have it. It has something that's much less impressive here, while the American model has another big push of colder air. What we always have to watch out for in these big lows is if we get an interjection of cold air into the storm, it makes them stronger and more intense. So I'm spending a lot of time on something that's 6 or 7 days away, but that's our next major weather element that we'll have to contend with, and something that stock growers, especially folks who are calving or lambing, you're going to want to keep an eye on the weather late next week and next weekend. In the meantime, after a cold day today, we get to relax, have 5 days of much better weather coming. Thanks for listening and watching to the Day Weather Podcast. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the warmer temperatures. Talk to you on Monday.